As we patiently wait for the next oracle or developer blog from Witchbrook, the team has actually shared some new details about the game, including confirmation on witchy businesses and an updated statement on the release plans for this upcoming life simulation title. Hello friends, Sarah Sunstone here, and welcome back to Thinking Out Loud. In today's episode, I'll be sharing my thoughts on some new official questions and answers from Witchbrook, revealing some new interesting and exciting details about the game. As always, friends, please go ahead and shine that lovely like button to support my Witchbrook content, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel with your notifications on if you're excited for the game so you can stay in the loop. Otherwise, without any further ado, let's get right into it. So the first question asks, how consistent will the NPC schedules be? So for example, if you restart a day, will all the characters still follow the same schedule, or will they go through the day completely differently? To answer this, the team shared that characters each have a schedule that takes them to various places in the world based on day of the week. But this might change due to weather, time of year, and seasonal events. So for example, a rainy day schedule for a character would likely differ from a sunny day. The season of the year might also impact this. So for example, a character would be more likely to visit the beach in the summer versus the winter. Based on what the team is sharing, it seems like what we would expect from a life simulation game. And I don't think this is a feature that really needs to be innovated upon if executed well. Because really, the main goal with this sort of a system, in my opinion, is to create a world that feels living and breathing. It feels full, not empty, which in turn creates the opportunity to encounter characters organically while you're also going about your days. I do feel like for Witchbrook specifically, some aspects of this game might actually make it easier to naturally run into the NPCs compared with some other games because of that academic setting and your shared coven. You're likely going to see a lot of the characters in your classes, unless they're skipping, and in the halls of the school in between. I do hope to see the characters engage in little simple actions when they're actually at their destinations, not just standing idle, so it does feel like they're also going about their days just like us. And it does seem like the world and its characters will be quite dynamic with the changing time of day and weather specifically. They have actually shown us little sneak peeks at how the characters will pop out umbrellas when it starts raining and how the world evolves as time passes. So I do think the routines of the characters will fit really well into all of that. Now, the next question asks whether there will be set places where you can work in the town of Mossport, or will there be the option to set up a business? And if so, how will this function in multiplayer? So the team's response for this question actually most directly addresses multiplayer. So they said that you'll run your witch business together in multiplayer, which means that you can take on different roles within it. So for example, one person could craft, cook, or bake things to sell at the Sunday market, and the other person could take on tarot readings or delivering the homemade items made by the other player. So I have a lot of thoughts on this response. I mean, we knew that our magical education at Witchbrook College would take us beyond the classroom walls, and that what the team is calling civic witchcraft, or using your powers in ways to help out the local community, is an important part of your gameplay. We also did know that there would be the potential, the opportunity to take on odd jobs around town and employ your magical abilities in these situations. However, run your own witch business definitely feels more coordinated and like a focal point of gameplay rather than just having the option to pick up an odd job when you feel like it. I don't know to what extent the structure of the business will actually be a thing in our gameplay, but I would love to be able to name our own business just for an extra layer of expression and to really make it feel official. I think it'll be really interesting to see how this realm of the game specifically will actually introduce itself, and if it is available from early on in our gameplay or later down the road once we've progressed through some of our studies. So the activities listed here, so confirmed for jobs specifically, include crafting, cooking, and baking. but also tarot readings and home deliveries. So I really like how it seems that our witch business will have a balance of taking on those individual consultations with personalized requests. This might be an example of where we'd be more likely to see using something like tarot reading, fulfilling specific item requests that are tied to some sort of a story or intention, a purpose, and also maybe even spirit work. So if you haven't seen my last Witchbrook video, definitely check that out because we got a first look at something that seems to be ghost hunting related to consultations and maybe our witch business. So gameplay activities and offerings like this would fit really well with those home visits and those individual consultations. But it does seem like this will be blended with opportunities to continuously generate an income for our business on a weekly basis with those Sunday markets, where I'm sure there will be some limitations, but we'll likely have more freedom to craft, cook, bake, brew, different offerings to sell there. I think this will be especially useful in situations where maybe one of our personalized consultation jobs we've taken on with our business is maybe taking just a little bit longer to complete. Maybe there's more steps to it. Maybe we need a rare ingredient to actually fulfill it. But in the meantime, we can still set up at the Sunday market and still earn an income through our business. Now, the multiplayer perspective on this one is actually quite interesting because you will be working together to run your witch business. So collaboratively, rather than each having your own. I think this is going to offer a nice flexible experience. I think you could really divide and conquer if you want, or you could work together on the same projects. So for example, one person could go out to forage for ingredients, maybe one does the actual crafting, while someone else can make those deliveries, and another could set up at the market while all that's still going on. I think it could be really fun to approach your witch business with your friends in that sort of a way, but it could also be really great to just focus on the tasks together if you would prefer. Now, next up, we have some music-themed questions. So, will we be able to choose different tracks to play in our cottage, which is our home in Witchbrook? Will each shop have their own interior track? And can players learn to play instruments or put an enchantment on one? So the response from the team is actually that they can't answer all of these questions just yet, but they went with a musical layering system so that when you enter a shop, the music adjusts its instrumentation to reflect going inside, and it becomes an acoustic version. They further shared that they want to preserve the feeling of being able to seamlessly go in and out of buildings in Witchbrook. So honestly, the fact that they sort of answered this question but dodged a lot of parts of it does make me feel like there is more to share about musical elements in the game. Otherwise, why would they say they can't answer things yet? I mean, who really knows? And if they do have more to share, what exactly that could be totally remains a mystery until we get to play the game or they decide to elaborate. However, this is confirming that their approach with the music and sound design of the world will not have distinct tracks connected to specific buildings or spaces like you might be familiar with in similar games, it seems, but rather the same music in different variations dependent on whether you're inside or outside in the world. The team actually did also share in a previous developer blog that I did cover on the channel that the composer for the soundtrack has really focused on blending different tracks to flow into one another, also changing with the seasons, the time of day, and various locations. On top of that, there's even a different version of each song for broom riding to really capture the uplifting feeling of flying through the city. So it does feel like the soundtrack is almost being designed in a way that responds to your gameplay and what you're doing, rather than having distinct tracks that are tied to specific stores. Though they did mention that the music might change dependent on location. I do feel like this might be more of a map-based implementation. So rather than it being shop dependent, it might be more like, oh, when you go towards the ocean or the beach, the music might vary slightly, but when you go over into the forest, it might kind of cozy up and make you feel more encompassed. But I am really excited to actually experience this ultimately in our gameplay because it does sound to be like a very dynamic system. The next question asks if Witchbrook will offer regional pricing. So the team responded by saying that they haven't announced a price for the game yet, but they always review prices regularly and do their best to ensure that they will be fair per region. They further shared that maintaining parity across stores pricing is also important to them, so that people who buy the game on Nintendo versus Steam will still get the same price. So I mean, that's good to know that they are prioritizing fairness and parity, of course, across regions and platforms to the best of their abilities at least. They're planning for this, they're accounting for this, so there shouldn't be any need to worry. Outside of the fairness aspect, I personally haven't really been concerned about pricing. There's no question for me that I'll be buying this game, and I honestly couldn't imagine it being priced at a high tier premium level. I also personally don't believe it should be underpriced either. I think like with any quality game, it should be fairly priced to reflect that quality and to support the team as well. So it's great to know they're being really mindful about this. And on the topic of pricing and actually buying the game, I'm still crossing my fingers for a potential physical edition. I'm really hoping that they'll come through with that for at least the Nintendo Switch 2, if not other platforms. You guys know I'm still really hoping for a PS5 edition as well, but only time will tell if they're able to pull that off. And the final question for today asks, can we expect Witchbrook to release this year? And surprisingly, the team did actually answer this question. So they shared that they won't be announcing a specific date until they're completely confident and happy with where the game is, but they are still aiming for a 2026 release. They further shared that they know it's been a long wait and they really appreciate everyone's patience. Their priority is making sure the quality is exactly where Witchbrook needs to be when it finally arrives. Now, I totally understand if at first you don't see this as an update on the release window, since the information is the same. But the fact that this was stated within the past week or so from the official Chucklefish team is an update to me. They are reaffirming that their plans remain to release the game this year. They are reassuring us that it is their intention. I really believe that we only have not heard from the team recently in any big regard because they are hard at work on this game and doing their best to get it out this year. So to me, this is really good news. This is an updated confirmation that their plans remain for release in 2026, which is this year. At the end of the day, will they deliver on that? We'll have to stay tuned to find out. I wouldn't be upset either way. I totally understand that so many of you have been waiting so long to play this game. I am incredibly excited for Witchbrook as well. I will be screaming when they finally announce an actual release date and when the game actually releases. Like, I am literally so excited for this game. It's difficult to describe how excited I am. At the end of the day, if they need to delay it again, I fully support that as well, because the last thing we want, as I have said and will say again, is Witchbrook to release in a state that they are not happy with and that does not meet player expectations. And here's the thing, you guys. There are literally so many other games you can play in the meantime across genres. If you're looking for something more similar, there's also plenty of that as well. So if you're seriously just so excited for Witchbrook and are having trouble waiting, maybe try channeling that excitement into a different game in the meantime that also excites you. Might I actually suggest Moonlight Peaks, specifically for those of you who are excited for Witchbrook? This game is coming out soon. It has a release date. I've even actually played the first 20 days in an exclusive preview. So if you'd like to check that out to see if that might be a good fit for you to enjoy in the meantime, which I think it would be, I'll have my preview content linked in the description for your reference. But otherwise, there you have it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this little peek at what's to come for Witchbrook. Be sure to share your thoughts with me down in the comments. Anything and everything. You know I always love hearing from you. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all. And until next time, take care.